is making it so I can't stream to Facebook anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to reconnect my account the other day. You just have to reconnect via StreamYard.
Well, won't let me reconnect.
It won't let you?
No. It says reconnect. It wants me to reconnect. When I click on it, nothing happens. And the last couple times I tried doing it, it comes up and says there's been an error trying to connect to the stream or something like that.
I had that for a little while, but they finally fixed it. It took a couple of days. But this was like a year ago. I'm surprised they're still having this issue.
Well, see, someone's telling me that they've blocked it from going to groups now. You only do like
that could be it. Or they've been reading the messages that I've been sending them about you, like this guy.
That's a possibility too.
This guy.
I don't think they need your messages though. They don't need your messages.
No, they're like, we know.
They've got me on your list.
Guess what? The other day, I was in a Facebook argument, and this guy called me an empty-headed buffoon posing as a pseudo-intellectual. Oh, it was awesome.
Really? And you were like, what does that even mean?
I was like, hey, at least I'm a pseudo-intellectual. Like
I'm trying.
Or because I didn't like the idea for Tom King's new Archie, and this guy was like so bent out of shape that I wasn't all on board for it. I'm a pseudo-intellectual, empty-headed buffoon posing as a pseudo-intellectual.
God forbid we have a difference of opinion on things.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, then we have to burn it all.
Yeah.
This is why when I started my whole art career and all my social medias, I made a vow to myself. I'm like, I'm not battling anyone on the internet, and I have. It's been like 9 years, and I haven't battled anyone on the internet over anything.
Well, unfortunately for me, I like to make some smart remarks, and this guy was like crazy. Like he was so offended and so abusive over something that was so trivial that it was actually funny.
Listen, man, I didn't think it was trivial. Oh, I'm sorry, I revealed
it was.
Yeah, pissing people off on Facebook is what I do in my spare time.
I've seen you make some comments, Aaron. You don't mind. You don't mind.
I'm certain I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, I get people from work. I'll make a comment like, "Oh God, what does he say now?" Warned you. This isn't work. This isn't work, Aaron. You're getting. My filter comes off, and but anyways.
Oh boy,
we're live on the air. So let's get started with the show.
Yeah.
Over in the chat, we have Heinz Kotz joining us. Hey, Heinz, join us, buddy. He says, Happy Memorial Day weekend. Same to you, my friend. And I know being a foreigner, David doesn't care about it. But anyway.
Oh, no, I'm saluting.
Oh, he's a pseudo-intellectual, man. Give him a break.
Pseudo-intellectual. I'm an empty-headed buffoon, but I'm also pseudo-intellectual.
There you go. You empty-headed buffoon, you know. Okay, so I guess we should get this show going before I get canceled or shut down or
more canceled.
Yeah.
Because Facebook's already had enough of your shenanigans.
Well, I had to create a separate identity because, in case Facebook decides to shut me down, I still got to be able to control my stuff in my group. So I created a separate identity and made it a co-manager that way.
Somehow Aaron creating a second identity has always been on my bingo card.
Okay, on that note, let's get this show on the road. That's what I was doing. If I get things up ahead of time instead of waiting until we're sitting here BSing. But just 1 second, and we'll get the show on the road. There we are. Okay. So, what am I looking for? There we are. So I'm trying to incorporate more of this stuff into the show. So we'll go and get the show going. So before we get going, I do want to say that this episode is sponsored by Big Danny Cool, one of our Patreons over on Patreon.
Cool.
Thank you very much for your support, Big Danny Cool, and I hope you enjoy the show, my friend. So let's go and get started.
up, they never say die. Walking tall with banners high, they sound the battle cry. G.I. Joe, go there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. Fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble over land and sea and air. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe, the Real American Headcast, is the code name for Aaron's daring, highly trained Headcast. Its purpose? To podcast about G.I. Joe, Fighting Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble over land and sea and air. Cobra! Retreat! Retreat! G.I. Joe, hero. G.I. Joe is there. G.I.
And welcome to G.I. Joe, Real American Headcast, episode number 56. I've been making some changes to the way I'm doing the show, trying to make it more entertaining, especially for those that's watching on YouTube, like our friend Hines. Good afternoon, Hines. Glad you could join us. So, and anyone else out there in YouTube land or wherever you're watching this, please feel free to say hi and throw in a message. I can read them off in the air. As usual, I am your host, Aaron Brotherhead Moss, and joining me, he's been gone the last episode or two just because of legal issues and, touched him in the wrong spot and all that. But you know what? I promise not to touch him again. Returning once again, we have Jared Albrecht, a.k.a. the Yard Sale Drawer Artist Guy.
Hey, it's me. I'm back. I'm glad we got all that worked out. Today, I came to the show via the train tracks. Or was it the river? You'll never know. You'll never know.
That sounds like I read that somewhere recently. Anyways, also joining us from the very merry land down under, we have our Australian friend, Dave. Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well. I'm sitting here in darkness, wrapped in a blanket. They've let me out of the cage to record this show. Then they're going to leave me back in my handlers. So yeah, yo Joe, and just excited. And Aaron, an impressive visual array to start the show off. I don't know if that's a new thing, but very
yes,
nice.
Yeah, I was talking to Kevin, and he made some suggestions as he wants to do, and again, I tend to follow Kevin's suggestions. And
very cool, man. And and every day I'm just waiting for more news about the Lady J TV show.
there you go.
Just on a day by day basis. That has gone so cold. You know what I mean?
Just at this point, I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, I would think almost. I could think of like 40 other characters who would probably get a show should get a show before her. You know what I mean? Number one being my favorite, Baroness.
There you go. Like
they have a show about her on Cinemax. It's on late on like Saturday night.
All right.
Never mind.
I think I've seen that one.
It might not be like what's the word I'm looking for? Like officially licensed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right on. Right on.
I'll be right back. No.
Just take a pause.
We'll take a 2-minute break.
Oh, by the way, I want to throw this question out there. I'm still waiting for my Crimson Strike team classified. They're not even on sale in Australia. It's really annoying me. And have you guys got easy access to them? Are they just on the shelves there wherever you go?
No,
I have not seen one. I've not seen one.
No, there's not a whole lot of Joes on the shelf. In fact, Walmart, the only thing they've got on the shelf right now, they don't even have a spot for it, but They got one of the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Origin Baroness figures on the shelf.
Okay.
That's it.
It's sad, isn't it? Like, it's sad that when you go into the stores, like how little is on the shelf, compared to like what's available online. It's just
that's been one for years. I see them every so often. I don't see this the Crimson Strike team you're referring to, but I do see some Joes at Ross's every once in a while, which is kind of like Jared's Ollies.
Yeah, that Zorana I picked up at Ollie's. She was the only one. Like I found one, and there was probably 40 other figures, and about 30 of them were Lady J, and about 10 of them were from the Snake Eyes movie.
There you go.
Wow.
You know, those are the ones
that's
that like they cannot get rid of, which is like Lady J is cool. I guess they just overproduced on her or something.
Well, I say for a while here, the last little while at my local Ross's, they've had quite a bit of the twins.
Mm.
Zaymont and
Oh, that's
Tamox.
nice. I don't think I have the twins.
See, I get it all off Amazon, and the twins are very cheap here, like in comparison to the other figures for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've been picking them up on Amazon for the most part because it's a little bit cheaper and no shipping. And
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, I go through and I pre-order it when they release them on Hasbro Pulse, and then when they come up on Amazon, I'll cancel my Hasbro order and order them through Amazon just to get them.
You're just out there breaking the system, aren't you?
I am. Again, that's what I do.
Mm.
Getting banned from Facebook, breaking the system, meeting people.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love it.
That's what I do best.
A scorched earth policy.
That's right.
I wouldn't be brother if I did any other way. Anyways, we're not here to talk about my issues. We're here to talk about my issues. We're looking at help. No, we're here to talk about some GI Joe. I guess we're going to look at issue 56 first of all.
Yep.
The cover of this one, we have Roadblock, Scarlet, and Flint taking fire from looks like Serpentor inside of a helicopter that I don't think we ever got as a toy. They're on a rocky landscape, and Serpentor's out there in the distance shooting at him, trying to shoot him dead.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was Serpentor, but when you look in the thing, yeah, you do see it's actually him. Yeah,
you can see his
window.
cowl and his clip.
Yeah. Taking matters into his own hands.
Sometimes you need to.
Yeah.
So let's get some thoughts on this. Well, since you're talking, Dave, let's go and keep talking. What are your thoughts on this cover?
Oh, I mean, it's classic fun. I love the Scarlet, the way they've depicted it here, which is similar to how she's depicted in the actual issue. It's slightly different to how they do it sometimes. No, just a fun, very action-packed issue. That's some pretty bad shooting by Serpentor when you look at it. He's managed to miss them all, literally. He's not even really aimed in the right direction. He's blowing away a rock behind them. But yeah, no, it's a great issue, and I love that it's got the black Spidey emblem down in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yes.
My one does.
Yeah,
No, it's a great issue. It's action-packed, is how I would describe it.
very nice. And Jared, since we're talking about art, let's get some thoughts from an actual artist.
I guess I'll have to do.
Is there one else that can talk to us for a little bit? Or
I'll make some phone calls. Please hold. All right. Well, first of all, let's just clear the decks. This is a Zek cover, but not Baby. It's inked by Kim. You might have said this already.
not yet.
No. Yeah, it's Kim DeMolder, which not a name I'm familiar with, but
Really?
it's
Just to interrupt you real quick. According to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, the cover is done by Mike Zeck and Bob McLeod.
in my book, it's Kim DeMolder, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that's the credit right there. I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that it's a cool cover, and I got super excited with this one, Aaron, because I've been on the show a lot. And we always talk about how there's a heyday of GI Joe comics for me, and it's pretty much the Zek era.
Right.
When you told me, via the email that also included the what's the word I'm looking for? Restraining order.
Yes.
Yeah. When you told me it was 56, I went and I got my hardcover and I flipped it open and I went, I've never seen this before in my life. I have never seen this cover before in my life until I opened it to read it for this episode. So clearly I missed this issue back in the day, which was you probably have the on sale date sitting in front of you somewhere.
I do. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Would you just spoil that real quick and tell me what it was? Because I have a theory.
The on sale date was November the 11th of 1986.
Wow.
Nope. That's my theory, because I thought maybe this is when we were in mid-move to Germany, but that was summer of 87. So I just missed it entirely. And so, like I said, when I cracked this book open, and I've bought back issues through the years, I've been through back issue bins. Somehow 56 has avoided me.
Wow.
And I was just like,
Wow.
this, I've never seen this before. And it's really good. I like the facial expressions of all the Joes. Flint and Scarlet have a panicky look to them, as does Roadblock to an extent as well. It's got a lot of energy. Kudos to the colorist who made it look like there's more than there is. This looks like, all right, this is Zek, so it's great. But this is Zek on a timer, I think. He just like, let me just crank this out real quick. And him cranking covers out real quick is awesome. The everything looks really cool, but the colorist really adds a third dimension to it. Because if you just ignore that and just look at the pencil and ink work, there's actually not a ton to it. But color helps it a lot. And the only question mark I have, and I kind of wish my other weapons buddy was on the show today, Kevin, is I'm very perplexed by Scarlet's rifle that looks like an M16 with no shoulder stock. That's going to be awfully hard to aim. It may have like a very mini shoulder stock sitting out there under the grip, but I've never seen one like that before. I kind of wish Kevin was here because he gets a little deeper in the weeds than even I do on that stuff. But other than that, man, it's got a ton of energy and it looks great. And I'm just so excited because I've never seen it before.
Oh, very good. I'm glad to see.
I see what you're saying about her rifle. Yeah, that's interesting. That might be actually hard to fire.
Yeah, you would hard to get a beat, and there could be a mini stock that looks like something sticking out that maybe that's what she's using, but it may be one of those things too where Zek, I'm certain, had reference books of weapons, and he probably just opened it up to a page and went, "This looks cool," with a mini stock on it.
It also looks like Flint is getting ready to maybe shoot her.
Maybe her panicky noises are like too shrill, and he's like, "I can't take it anymore."
Yeah, he's just like, screw this. Maybe I'll just kill them both, and Serpentor will stop blowing me away with the gunship.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, no, yeah, like you guys said, it's a good cover. I like it. I like the expressions on their face. Yeah, Flint's got this oh crap look on his face. What the hell's going on? In Serpentor's defense, I think he may be turning on them. I think maybe he's piloting the helicopter, and that's why he's not hitting them. Maybe, I don't know, because we do see bullets right behind Scarlet, so behind the Spider-Man emblem. So I think he's just trying to take aim at him. And again, I'm not a gun guy. I'm not a helicopter guy. I'm not a military guy.
You haven't piloted a gunship?
No, I have not piloted a gunship. It's on my bucket list of things to do, but yeah, seeing how the everyone's gonna be black.
Piloted a gunship, Dave.
Everyone's gonna be blacklisted. What do you want? Maybe Jared could tell us how easy it is to fire at moving targets from a gunship. I'm sure he's done it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Isn't it like day 2 of training?
It is. Yeah, it's day 2 as we get in the gunship, so we just go.
Your fellow soldiers are a little too slow. You better run quicker.
It's gunship training day, everybody.
Anyway, so on a scale of 1 to 5 Yojo Colas, let's get some numbers on this, Dave. And those in the real quick.
I think a 4 out of 5. Yeah, why not?
Nice.
Yeah, it's 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5. Yeah, sure.
All right. Anyone out there listening, if you guys want to throw your thoughts and your ratings out there, go ahead. We'll read them on the air. Jared,
if we agree with them, we will.
We're very snooty that way.
Yeah,
we're very fancy. Oh, that's Pat. Never mind. Jared, on a scale of 1 to 5 Yojo Colas.
Buy me a ticket to Down Under because I am gonna be with Dave on 4 Island. I like it. It goes against my grain to not give Zek a 5, but again, this is not a Zek and Beatty.
Right.
Looks a little rushed, but it's still great. So, yeah, it's a solid 4. You know what? I could do it on the show. I'd probably go 4.5 because you'll.
You're on the Headcast Network, of course.
I'm just loving it. The freedom.
This isn't the Long Box Crusade. Yes, we do
taking my shirt off.
Okay, that's where I draw the line.
Putting it back on.
And I hope you guys got room on that island because I'm going to give it a 4 also.
Right.
Because it's not fantastic. I wouldn't blow it up and hang it on my wall, but it's a very nice cover. Like I say, it's got very expressive faces. We get the bullets in the background tearing up the landscape. It's very nice. I like it.
Did you guys are around the same age as me? Did any of you guys play the Commodore 64 game Gunship? I used to play.
Is that the side scroller where you blow stuff up and then you can land and pick up prisoners?
No, it's kind of like it's not a side scroller. It's actually like really primitive graphics, but you're flying around.
Okay.
In the gunship, and you have to do these missions and stuff. It's awesome, and you're fighting like tanks and stuff, Russians in Europe, doing missions, facing against Heinz, and it was awesome. Like I loved it. Whenever I see a gunship, I think of it because I logged in a lot of flight hours. You know?
As you're supposed to do, Aaron.
Hey, it's the U.S. government's fault. They're the ones that blacklisted me.
I've just noticed, Jared. Is that Dr. Mindbender?
Yes, sir.
Well
Yes,
done, man. So you've been doing. I just realized you've been doing that while we're talking. Wow.
Yeah,
You've got a lot more talent. A lot more talent than us.
I don't
Aaron
know about
and
that, but I appreciate it.
we're just sitting here, like totally trying to focus on conversation. You're meanwhile drawing at the same time. So well done.
That's what he always does. He always does a fantastic job on whatever he does. I love having Jared on the show only because we get to see. I mean, especially because we get to see.
I understand.
Yeah, he's a lot better than me. I agree. You know, I'm sitting here in the dark.
Well, it might help. Turn on a light there, buddy. No.
Yeah, turn on a light.
No,
No, I'll do my artwork. You're like, hey, Dave, just stop. Yeah,
turn the light back off.
We're losing viewers with your artwork, your stick figures.
and over in the chat, he joins us on the island also. He gives it 4 colas for the cover.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Must be onto something.
Thank you for your input, Heinz. So let's go ahead and get some stats on this issue. Yeah, I'm switching things up, moving things around. So this was cover dated February of 1987. The on sale date, as I talked about earlier, November the 11th, 1986. The cover price, 75 cents. Title was called Jungle Moves. Written, as usual, by our good buddy, Larry Hama. Penciler, Rod Wiggum. Inker, Andy Muschitsky. Letterer, Joseph Rosen. Colorist, George Roussos. And again, according to my notes, according to Mike's Amazing World, the penciler on the cover was Mike Zeck, and the inker was Bob McLeod. Jared's book's got a different inker listed, which is odd. I don't know.
It does. It says Kim DeMulder. Although I know that McLeod was often a collaborator with Zeck. So, in fact, I think those covers they did for Craven's Last Hunt, I think that was all Zeck and McLeod.
Oh, that's
wow,
great.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that was something else.
Yeah, they were. But yeah, my book says Kim DeMulder. Who knows?
I don't know where these people get their information. There's nothing on the cover. I don't see anything in the book itself.
Is Mike Zeck still alive?
Yeah, he is. I'll actually see him more than likely at Heroes Con in a couple of weeks, and if I remember, I will ask him, "Hey, who inked this cover?"
He's a fantastic artist. He really is one of my favorites. Like
he'll be like, it was 1986, bro. I don't. I don't
Did I do that cover? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where were you in '86? Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
He's probably done like a million covers, and you're asking about one obscure comic that you didn't even have. So,
yeah. I read this comic he did the other day. Yeah, wow, I finally caught it.
1986.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I gave it a 4.
Yeah, actually, what are you a 4.5?
That's right. 4.5. That's
right. He's just like, where'd I lose the point, kid?
Because you didn't have your regular buddy on there. But anyways,
who will also be at Heroes Con, so I can talk to him about it too.
Very nice. Yeah, just don't tell Delve in the Dark Web that you gave it a halvesies. He may.
I won't. Yeah, he won't take kindly to that.
But anyways, and the editor of this was Bob Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get a synopsis for this issue. As Dr. Mindbender and Cobra prepare to move Snake Eyes out and destroy the Terrordrome, Stalker is rushed to the USS Flag, where he informs Scarlet that Snake Eyes sacrifices freedom to save the team. Hawk starts prepping a team to invade Cobra Island to get their missing Joe. Meanwhile, Robert Graves begins his new life at college, where he meets the beautiful Lola. Through subterfuge, the Joes are able to get several pieces of the Terrordrome to take back to investigate. Finally, a man with a beryllium mask boards a plane to head to Glasgow, Scotland. So that is the synopsis for this issue. And I've got just a few comments. I'm going to go first this time. Normally I let my guests go, but the hell with I'm mixing things up and moving things around and what the hell.
Yeah.
Just a few thoughts. I'll leave everything else for the rest of the guys. So again, I like the Cobra soldier asking Dr. Mindbender if he wants to helicopter prepared for tactical evacuation.
Yeah.
Made me chuckle. Tactical evacuation, running like hell. I love that Scarlet is reassuring Stalker that Snake Eyes wouldn't want him feeling bad about being left behind. That he would have done the same thing. He would have got the rest of the group out of there. And Hawk's response to her about, "Are you ready to go get them? Go get them." It's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin's not here, so I'm about to say this. Lola, hot.
Yeah.
Correct. It's correct.
And I'd say also pretty thirsty as well.
Yes, very much so. And I made a comment last issue on the cover. It looked like Dexter was bald when he removed his mask, and when we didn't see his face inside that issue, but it looked like he had a tuft of hair. And then the later issues they show he has hair.
I've got a question. In this Marvel comics, is Destro like horribly scarred like he is in the later IDW stuff or not?
No, it's a family ceremonial mask. His family's done wrong or something like that, and they've agreed to wear it.
Okay. Thank you.
In fact, in later issues, we do see him unmasked.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's
no problem. But yeah, in this issue here at the end, we see a bald-headed gentleman with a beryllium mask going home to Scotland. So, but later issues, he does have a full head of hair. So I'm not sure what's going on there. If he had a bald wig on here, or if it's just somewhere down the line, someone messed up and decided to give him a full head of hair. And because here looks almost like Telly Savalas or something. But
maybe he was just going through a phase.
Jesus Christ, I love Telly Savalas. Who loves you, baby?
What was that, Jared?
I said maybe he's just going through a phase. When I went to Iraq, I brought a buzz cut clipper with me, and I just buzzed the whole time I was there. And now I have a beautiful head of hair.
Well, maybe I've got a bald head, but if I stopped shaving, it would grow out, and I would have a full head of hair again. Who knows? But anyways,
I'd like to see it. Aaron, a big perm or something on there.
My mom did that when I was a teenager once. It messed up. It was real crazy. Yeah, I don't want to see it again. If I can find pictures, I'll post them online. But
that would be awesome.
But anyways, those are my brief thoughts on this issue. Dave, do you have thoughts?
I do. I've been reading through the Marvel run and actually read this a couple of months ago, but then went back and revisited it. Really fun issue. In fact, it's a really fun little arc to do with the what do they call them? It's not a Terradrome, is it? What's it called in the Cobra thing? Is it a Terradrome?
Yeah, the base they have is a Terradrome.
Terradrome. Okay, I get it confused with the one from the Turtles.
I do that all the time too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, I love the whole story because this is kind of like the concluding chapter in that little arc. You know, about the counter-revolutionaries. I love the artwork. I as I'm looking at it here, I just kind of get enough of how they're drawing Scarlet. I really like it. The brief interlude with Grunt at the college with the woman who shows some interest, and just the whole thing about how they have the decoy train, like it's all quite elaborate. Like it's very Larry Hummer. Like he really keeps the plot cranking along. I just think they pack so much cool stuff into one issue here that once again I find myself thinking they did comics better, or at least Larry Hummer was doing comics better than they do them now. Because there's so much action in one issue. You really get. You said this cost 75 cents. You get more than 75 cents worth of story.
Oh, there's a lot.
Whereas these days they're charging $4 or $5 US, and I guarantee you they're not giving you as much story as Larry does here. So I think it's a really fun issue, and good to see my gal Baroness. She's not the full sex pot that she becomes. She's kind of almost got more of a library girl feel to her with those glasses and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. My mic is on.
Some feels sexy. Anyways, never mind.
Yeah, but no, I really enjoyed this issue. I enjoyed it when I read it a couple of months ago, and coming back and revisiting it, which I did last night, I was like, yeah, it's cool. And I like the shenanigans that are going on with Cobra too in the background with Serpentor and the twins and and Dr. Mindbender. There's so much treachery in the ranks of Cobra.
Yep. Oh, definitely. And like we've talked about before, that's one of, in the comics at least, that's one of Cobra's biggest downfalls is just, the fact that they're willing to turn on each other and they're always working against each other and stabbing each other in the back.
Yeah.
If they were to work together, things might
Yeah,
be different.
exactly. They sort of tear themselves apart. And then you've also got Destro going to do his thing, which I also like that Larry keeps the plot boiling away from just what's happening there. There's Destro, there's Grunt, what he's doing. You know, he's clever that way. He always keeps it rolling forward.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, as far as you talk about the writing and how much is in this issue, nowadays they're in quotes writing for the trade, so they stretch things out longer, which I think is kind of BS anyways.
I hate it.
Well, as we said, I mean, these have trade paperbacks. You don't have to write one arc for a trade. You can put a couple of little arcs in there. You can put,
Well, let me tell you this: the trade of this story is going to be a hell of a lot more entertaining than many trades of modern comics put out today. So, it's such a silly concept because if you write 5 or 6 fantastic issues, you slap it together in one of those thin trades, it's a fantastic little trade.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to 180 stretched out, which is what they do now. They just stretch it.
They've been doing that for years. They've had, they gather up whatever they got for a storyline or whatever and put in a trade paperback, and there you go. And now, they're stretching things out to make one story arc last for 6 issues or whatever it needs to be, or 8 issues. And sometimes they pad it out more than they need to, where, Larry has a lot of action and a lot of stuff, action and a lot of, just background stuff and a lot of, personal lives going on. And
I think you get your money's worth with Larry, basically.
Definitely.
I read his as well as his G.I. Joe. I'm in the midst of reading his Wolverine run, and it's so much fun. He's a fun writer. You know what I mean? Like he has a good time and he doesn't phone it in. He does do action, like the action stuff here to do with the Terradrome sort of collapsing and them getting it sent away. Like a lot of writers wouldn't bother to do that over so many pages. He spends about 2 pages on it, but he does it well.
Yes.
And he pays it off. And Cobra, as usual, screw it up. They go chasing the decoy train. And, I think a lot of writers wouldn't bother to do that kind of grunt work.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. That's why we always sing Larry's praises on the show, because he does a fantastic job.
100%.
And Jared, do you have thoughts on this issue?
I do. You guys covered a lot of them, and the way you've talked about it, it really makes me wish I'd actually read this one. But I'll do my best guess.
One of these days, you'll surprise us.
One of these days. No, what I'm really learning, as I told you, there was already an excitement level about this one because I'd never read it, and I'm learning that this is probably where I quote unquote fell out of Joe comics. Although I think I picked up a few here and there. I'm going to be completely loyal to the figure line for years to come still, but I guess I'm not reading as much comics because this story I didn't remember at all. Even like the previous issue, I was like, okay, I don't remember this at all. But it was definitely everything that you and Dave said. It just has so much going on. I mean, for those of you watching, just look at the panel count, and then it's not necessarily like a I like to pick on Chris Claremont on our shows because I find him to be a bit wordy. It's still paced well, and there's plenty of words on these pages, and it does have a real nice pacing, like you guys talk about. It's just kind of go from one piece to the next, and then he moves in with those wonderful character beats about how sick Stalker is that he had to leave Snake Eyes behind, because for those of us who know our Joe history, that's his Vietnam buddy. I mean, they've been through it.
Yeah. True.
And so that is exceptionally hard to leave him behind. And Scarlett's reaction to it of just becoming that warrior that she is, it was moving. The story was moving along. The characters were very moving emotionally. And then he's got, it's Larry, so he's going to attack on oh, by the way, something's going on with Destro at the end. You're like, what? I need to know more, So pretty much echo everything you guys said. A great issue, super fun for me because I found one that I had not seen before. So that's where I'm at, man.
That's always exciting, reading a book for the first time.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like never found it in a trade, never found it in a back issue bin. Like when I opened that book, I said, I've never seen this before. This is crazy. How did this happen?
Very nice. But yeah, no, yeah, we talked about it. It's a great issue. They've got, they carry on all the subplots. We've got, we got Destro. You go staying along in London? No, I'm catching a connecting flight to Glasgow, Scotland. Vacation?
Yeah.
Business.
And checking in with Grunt. Like, who's even thought about Grunt in forever?
Yeah.
Well, those was their last issue we did because
again, I once again failed you. I don't necessarily know. I've seen the cover of last issue, but I don't think I've ever read it because I kind of went back a little bit to give me some frame for what we just covered, and I was like, I don't think I've ever read this.
Oh wow!
And I was just like, man, how long has Grunt been like MIA from this book?
A while, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's so generic, but yet Larry is making him not generic by giving him this arc, and I don't know where it's going. I have, anytime a super beautiful woman loves a Joe team member, that usually means trouble. So we'll see.
I think it's been a while since I've actually read these issues. I have read them, unlike some people, Jared. I mean, Robert Graves and Lola does show up in the future. This isn't the last we're going to see.
I figured we were going to see more. So, not in the fun way either, Dave. When I said we're going to see more.
Yeah.
And Lola's Baroness's stepsister, but that's another story entirely.
What's in IDW? What's the identical Baroness? Is it Chameleon? You know the chick who looks like her.
I believe so.
Yeah. Wow. There's a story there.
Stories
I could tell there.
I feel like I know where he's going with it.
give me a pen and paper, and I'll start sketching some stuff out.
Good times.
This is why we're not allowed on Facebook.
One of many reasons.
Facebook blocked us.
So the letter column, real quick. I do want to point out there was one letter from a Gary Bass, I guess. He wrote in, he wants Spider-Man to give up being Spider-Man and join the G.I. Joe team.
Oh man!
Wow,
I love it.
Wow, on it.
That's a big call.
Hey,
Private Parker.
They should have Spider-Man and join the G.I. Joe team, and you guys should take a vote on that. And that's what the Raiders think. And
I like it.
Like, really?
That's the guy who just wants his Spider-Man in every title. Like, doesn't give a
G.I.
shit.
Joe was popular, Spider-Man was popular, so take two popular things, put them together, and
I had this thought the other day, and this is going to let me run my mouth about it. And I know you love that, Aaron.
I do.
But I was listening to my buddy Delvin's Transformers podcast, and Spider-Man appeared way back in like Transformers issue 3 or whatever. Just so that is their thinnest connection to the actual Marvel superhero universe.
Right.
And it got me thinking. I was like, I wonder what the most successful comic Marvel ever did that does not connect with their superhero universe. And I think it's Joe.
Oh, I'd say it'd be Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Joe. And I'm like, it blew my mind that they never did try to like sneak Spidey in there like they did with Transformers. They never even tried it, as far as I know. Again, there's plenty of issues to come.
Other than, like I say, back in the early issues when, who was it? I think it was Scarlet and a couple of the Joes were escaping from Springfield. They ended up in a Marvel book signing or something like that. And there was someone dressed up as the Hulk.
Yeah, there was the guy in the Hulk suit. That's right. So, like, it leads me to believe that at least the Marvel Comics universe exists in Joe universe. Like, that you can read Marvel Comics, but do the heroes exist? I don't know, but it really did. It was one of those, Jared's taking a shower, get your mental image ready. And I'm just kind of sitting there thinking, like, what's the most successful book that doesn't tie to their main universe? And I think I can't think of anything but Joe.
It would be this or Transformers, I'm sure.
Maybe New Universe.
I know I like New Universe more than most. I can't give Transformers the pass because Spider-Man appeared in like issue 3 or 4.
All right, well then it would be this. So just the sheer fact that it went for so long, and it wasn't selling more than X-Men, I believe.
I think in the 80s it might have.
In the 80s, I believe, in its prime, it was actually outselling X-Men, I believe. So,
and then the 90s showed up, and X-Men just blew up like a balloon.
Yeah.
Well, you figure at this time frame, they've got G.I. Joe, They've got the special missions. They've got Order of Battle. They've got the G.I. Joe Transformers coming up rather soon. So yeah, they were cranking out a lot of Joe books
and the magazine.
And then
Golden Times.
They just started the G.I. Joe Digest, reprinting the older stuff in digest format, which we talked about earlier. So yeah, no, this was selling. Yeah, they were doing digest to get the books out there. And that's how I read a lot of the early issues through the digest. So yeah, no, this was G.I. Joe's golden era, if you will. So definitely. Unless anyone has any other thoughts on this issue, we'll move on to the next segment. I've got to see if I have something before I don't.
I'm just sad that Brad's not here because I know he would have just plunked down the cash to buy this Mindbender immediately.
Yes, that is one of his favorites.
One of his top tier, which is ironic because he actually does own my original from Zartan. I don't know if he bought it just to be ironic and funny, but he did order the original Zartan.
Well, he learned, as he talked about previously, he's learned to appreciate Zartan. So Zartan moved up on his list, and
well, that's good.
Zartan's cool.
Mindbender. So
yeah.
Well, some of us think so, but anyways, let's move on to the next section. This is the Real American Hero. This is a Joe or Cobra or someone else in the book that you think's done a great job and deserves a special shout out. Jared, if you have one in mind, we can start with you.
Yeah, no, I've kind of forgot this was a part of the show, which is weird because it's a part of a lot of my shows too. But so if I just go with gut instinct and the energy that I got from the character, I'm gonna go with Stalker. I just felt his pain, and
very nice.
and in only a way that Larry can. And I'm a homer for Stalker, but yeah, that's where I got my most emotional swell from the book was Stalker's reaction to having to leave Snake Eyes behind.
Oh, very good call. That's a nice one. And Dave,
well, I'm coming in left to center as usual, and I'm going with Lola. Yeah, I just was refreshing. I was going to give it to Baroness, but Baroness for me, she doesn't have to do a lot to become the favorite, but I'm giving it to Lola this issue because I think she's somewhat of a temptress to Paul Grunt / Bob. And then she says, I'll treat you to breakfast. And I dare say she will.
Yes, that's a brother head move right there. Let's give it to the hot chick in the book.
Why not, man? Why not? The reason I'm on the show, man, that you invited me.
That's right. Nothing wrong with that, man. We get along
Fill
so
it in
well.
for Kevin. Fill it in for Kevin.
Both of like mine. You and Kevin. We're all right there together. Looking for the hot chick. And I'm going to give mine to some guy named Bob Graves. Starting a new life and leaving his, old Joe life behind. But again, he's still showing up in the book. So we know Larry's got something planned for him. So even though he may not be Grunt anymore,
he may be grunting.
I was just coming off mute to say that joke. He beat me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He'll be
I'm pretty happy with myself.
Oh, no. I like that. Very nice. And moving on from there quickly. Something I've stolen from a better show than mine. Page of art. If you could have one page of art out of this book, what page of art would you take? Dave, if you have one handy, do you?
I really like the opening page with Snake Eyes captured and being held by the Cobra, whatever they're called. Are they Vipers or Soul? What do you call them? Like
those Cobra Troopers.
Cobra Troopers, yeah. I love that first page, and you've got Baroness there issuing instructions, Dr. Mindbender, and just the image with Snake Eyes captured like that, because it doesn't feel like that happens a lot,
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Great image. Great first page of a comic.
Share that for people watching at home. That was one of the ones I wrote down because that's a nice. Yeah, I like the way they got Snake Eyes. They're carrying him unconscious, and he's laying between their guns. I'm not sure how his hands aren't falling down beside him. His hands just floating there midair, it looks like. But no, it's a very nice page.
Ninja training.
Oh, there you go. Must be. And Jared, what page would you like?
I am gonna go in line with who I picked for my favorite Joe, and I'm gonna pick that moment on content page 3, where the tomahawk is landing on the flag, and Stalker's obviously emotional over what happened, and then you get the emotion from Scarlet as well, and then of course Larry's smart enough on his own Joe history to include Hawk in this moment because Hawk, Stalker, and Snake Eyes are like the original 3,
Right.
So they definitely included him in the moment, and it's just a perfect, for those of us who love OG GI Joe, it's Hawk, Stalker, Snake Eyes, and then of course Scarlet as the love interest, and then of course Tommy. They kind of all go back to Vietnam, except for Scarlet, but she deserves to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just what a great moment, and good drawing. I probably bring this up a lot, but Wiggum is definitely the heir apparent to Trimpe. I mean, having to draw all these vehicles, all these different Joes, being able to draw sexy women and soldiers and stuff, and he does it all in this book, and it's incredible.
He's very good. Yeah.
Oh, very much so. Yes.
And you have to. We all learn this from behind the scenes. You have to be fast to work for Larry as well. And so he's doing all this at a pretty incredible rate of speed.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yes. No. Doing definitely a great job. Yeah. And I think that following up on that, Jared, I think that he's doing such a good job. I don't really notice a difference for the most part between Trimpe and what we're getting now.
No.
I mean, he did his own thing, but he was able to do a good enough job to seamlessly fall in. And
it's not a radically different style and feel. If anything, he develops a little bit. And no, I agree with you. And he's very consistent. Like,
yes,
you know how some artists, like due to the rush nature, sometimes they really give you rush pages, and you can tell he doesn't seem to do that. I think he's a very economical artist, and he does a very good job, I think.
Oh, 100%. And for mine, if I can do this right, again, I have doubts about myself, but mine is page 19, where the train's exploding and we get the dummy of Flint with the hay and all that and his clothes flying out of the train.
Yes.
As we see the Joes celebrating there at the bottom, the middle panel, we get them sliding the sides of the Terrordrome down the bank of the river so they can get it out of there. The main reason I love that explosion of the train, and then we see the Flint dummy flying free of the explosion.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That is mine. I thought
and the cool part about reading this book for the first time, as I just admitted it, is the trick worked on me.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what the what? Oh, they duped them. Oh, I would have been sitting there next to Tomax and Zaymont going, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing.
I guess one's dead. Right on. Very nice. Yes. And the other one I had was page 13 was my other pick I had, where the Terrordrome was falling apart, and then we see it collapsing when they tripwire sets the explosive and blows it apart so they can cart it away. But yeah, that train exploding takes the cake for me. That was my second pick after the first page that our buddy Dave picked. So move on. Something I did this last month, and I'm starting to do this again. We have Postbox the Pit. This is mainly Facebook and Patreon, because I don't do much on Instagram and X and all those others like I probably should, just because I'm terrible at it. But these are people on Facebook that I wanted to mention that's done either something special or top contributor or something. So we have Kevin Reitzel. He recently shared an article about the... Hey.
I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
He recently posted an article about the Rocky retraction from Order of Battle.
Oh, yeah.
Which we'll get to here soon. So, and he's always posting links to the cosplay stuff they're doing or other interesting Joe facts on the page. So thank you very much, Kevin. Also, Brian Laza, and forgive me, I've mispronounced that. He's got Nothing But Joe stories, and he helped create the Game Master for our role-playing game we were doing, which I just released the final episode of that here a week or two ago.
A great guy, Brian. A fantastic guy. He's been on Signal Doom. Excellent guy.
Yeah, I need to get Brian on my show. I just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, he's a supporter of what I do on Longbox as well. So that's awesome. He's
We all
making the
love it.
rounds.
There you go, Brian. Like, just cross the board. You should run for office.
There you go.
I know, right? I'd vote for him.
Yeah, mine vote. There are another two choices we have. So definitely run for office, Mr. Laza. Also, I'm going to point out Ben Wiley. He's always posting various links and sells and stuff on our web page. So thank you, Ben. Paul Cush. He's one of our top contributors. He's always posting pictures and various YouTube videos related to G.I. Joe. Eric Smith, the game master on the role-playing game I was doing, which we restarted, which I'll be releasing as a podcast once again, probably in the next couple of months. I'll start doing that. He's been posting character sheets for people he's created for the G.I. Joe role-playing game.
How is that game, by the way, Aaron?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, like I say, we were playing it, and I released those episodes. We had 21 sessions. I released as a podcast, and we had to stop back in December or so because of the holidays and life and things. Just
and do you create your own Joe?
You create your own character. Yeah, you create your own characters, and you can. They've got books. You can create Joes. You can create Cobras. Depends what your game master wants to do. There are several books on that,
fun. And it's a good game system. Like the actual system.
The actual gaming. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, if you want to, you can. Like I say, you can check out the role playing. It's on my feed as Adventure continues. Like I said, I just released the last episode of that, and then in the next couple of months, I'll be releasing the new game we're doing. They've got, again, if you're not familiar with the comics, Skybound is releasing G.I. Joe and Transformers. They've got Larry's book still going, but they also got their own universe. They call them the Energon universe because they got G.I. Joe and Transformers mixed more so than other comics did. And they don't have a G.I. Joe book yet. They've got a Transformers book, and then they've got several G.I. Joe related books. They had Cobra Commander and Cobra Commander and Duke had miniseries. And now I think it's Destro, and I want to say Scarlett's just got a new one starting out.
She's about to have one, yeah.
So, and I think they're leading up to a new G.I. Joe book. But yeah, they're crossing over with the Transformers. So our new Energon Protocol games that we're doing is going to be what it is every other week, Eric has a Transformers game playing, and then the opposite weeks, he has a G.I. Joe game. And I'm involved with the G.I. Joe game.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
I should maybe pick that up because I don't mind a role-playing game and G.I. Joe, Yeah,
you can get it from Renegade Studios. It's a nice, they've got the main core book. They've got a Cobra source book. They've got a Sergeant Slaughter book and a bunch of others.
Okay.
Plus, they've got rules for combining it with the other books. They've got like the Transformers. They got My Little Pony.
Have they got the stats for the characters? Like, do you see the stats for like a Duke or a Scarlet or whatever?
Yeah, they've got some of this. Yeah, they got stats for some of the characters in the books.
Baroness?
Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to pull the book out and see.
Don't act like you don't know where stats stay.
Oh, I know her stats, but that's why I'm
36, 24.
I'm focusing in like a laser. Yeah, okay, that actually sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's either in the regular book or the Cobra Codex, one or two. I don't recall right offhand. But yeah, they got stats for different Joes, the vehicles, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, and the last thing we were doing, I told Eric one of the things I wanted was a trouble bubble, and he made it so I was able to get a trouble bubble for my character. So
awesome. You love those trouble bubbles.
I know what it is. I just love them. They're fantastic. Finally, on Facebook, I do want to mention ex-member of the show and friend of the network, Peppy Pat Sampson. He's always posting links to his shows on there.
I'm sorry. I was on mute.
Your mic is still alive, Jared.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I love Pat, man. I do love Pat, and it's nice that he's still playing in the Joe sandbox.
The only problem I got with Pat is some of the co-hosts in some of his shows. There's this one artist guy
that guy's
really annoying, but
that's the worst.
Anyway,
you know what though? That guy's gonna say something nice about your show though, because while we're talking about other shows that you've got going on, I really enjoyed your interview with Jim Beard recently. That was really good. The second interview I think you've had with Jim. Yes,
that's the second time I talked with Jim. Yes, we've talked a couple of times, and I love Jim. We're friends on Facebook. He's a great guy, great writer. So definitely, if you haven't checked out any of his work yet, go to Amazon, look for Jim Beard. He's got a lot of books out. He's got his own imprint, Becky Books, based on his deceased wife. That's where the name of that came from. He's a great guy, and he's got some great stories, great editor. He's just fantastic.
Yeah,
Definitely
good episode. You know,
Thank
offbeat from your normal stuff, but just fascinating and interesting enough to fit here. And
Yes.
yeah, Jim's like a friend-in-law of mine. I run in circles and I occasionally see Jim, and he is such a nice guy and a great interview. So this is my plug. If you're listening to this and you're like, oh, only listen to the Little Joe stuff, because Jim talks a lot about Big Joe's.
Right.
No, he's so creative. It's definitely worth listening to.
And yeah, he's a big fan of the original Joes, but
the original, like the classic Joes, yeah,
the 12-inch,
yeah, right on.
The GI Joe, and then the Adventure Team stuff. Yeah,
I've got a question. I've got the 60th anniversary coming. Is that like the classified version of the originals?
I believe so. Yeah, that's supposed to be the classified version. They've done a couple of those. Classified version of the original Joes.
I'm pretty proud of myself for getting it, to be honest. Just want to say that right now.
Right on. I'm proud of you too. Good job, man. Honestly, if I had more money, I wouldn't mind getting those.
Someone's got to lead the charge, and it'd be nice if he's got like a bayonet or something, old school style.
There you go.
Charging like back in the jungles, man. How it was.
They've got a couple different of the 60th anniversary type Joes out there, so definitely if you're interested in those,
it's where it all started, man.
Yep. And
right on.
Moving over to Patreon, as I've talked about previously, our big contributor over there is Big Danny Cool. Thank you once again, Danny. We also have Bill Beer and friend of the network, Gene Hendricks, fellow podcaster and all around great guy. I've had him on several of my shows before, so I like Gene. He's a good guy. I don't care what Jared tells me about him.
Boo! I had to come off of mute for that one. I love Gene too.
And finally, before we go to a break, one last segment we're going to do, the Soldier of the Month. This is a Joe. This is somebody out there that's done something great for the brand, or something that keeps the GI Joe. I can't even speak. Keeps the GI Joe alive. So this month, I am giving the Soldier of the Month to Mr. David Finn.
Wow.
One of the newest Joes on the show. Again, with that, not only do you have the honor of being Soldier of the Month, but if you're ever in California, I've got a parking spot reserved out front for you.
Oh, wow, what an honor. I was waiting to hear who it was. It's me. All I can say is thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here and talk Joe. I often talk Joe with Aaron just on Facebook in messages. Yes. Often I just try to, yo, Joe, just to start the day off.
Yes, very nice. I appreciate. I may get back in do our time difference. I may get back to you a little bit later, but yes, always appreciate seeing your messages.
Always good. Thank you.
Real quick,
to our Soldier of the Month, all of us here at the GI Joe, a Real American Headcast, and at the Headcast Network Studio, we salute you. To our Soldier of the Month,
why is this replaying?
Just a replay. I love it.
There you go.
Wow, what an honor. Wow, and I've got light now. Look, light started.
Hey, yeah, you get Soldier. Light comes on, and you're seeing the light.
Yeah.
Yes,
all coming together.
The rocket's red glare, all that stuff.
Yes. We talked about that episode years ago. Oh. So, speaking of episodes, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the cartoon. Okay, so this time, if you guys need to get drinks or heroin or whatever, go for it. I mean,
heroin. Wow. I'm going to quickly go grab a glass of water.
Go ahead, Ben. Okay. Very nice work there, Mr. Jared. I'm liking what you got going on.
Thank you. It's coming together. I just saw a purple spot I forgot to color in. Right over
like
here.
I said, always appreciate watching what you do when you do your artwork. It's fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that, and you always say such nice stuff about it on Facebook.
Because it's true. I wish I could draw half as good as you.
Oh, you can. I can show you how. Yeah, man. I've been doing these book page sketches on the military manual now for a while. I think I'm up to like 27 Joe characters now, and I'm like starting to run out. Like, okay, I have to dig deep. Like, who am I going to draw next?
There you go.
Have you done Baroness?
I have a Baroness. Yeah.
Do it again.
All right.
All right, do it again. Do it. Do it dirty this time. Well, wait a minute. What? Anyways, so if we're ready to continue before I get banned off YouTube next.
Love it.
So, welcome back from the break. I hope you guys enjoyed those commercials. Again, honestly, I don't know what I played yet, but I'm sure I played something from one of Jared's shows or his something Jared's done because he's on the show. But let's go ahead and move on to the cartoon.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe.
Again, try and make the show a little better for those watching on YouTube land. Hope you guys like what I'm doing. Let me know. But this episode, this was entitled Flints Vacation, directed by John Gibbs and Terry Lennon. Writer was Beth Bornstein. The first episode, this first aired on November the 13th, 1985. The synopsis for this one: Flint visits his cousins in Pleasant Cove, an experimental community secretly owned by Cobra. He soon finds out that they and the whole population of the town are television brainwashed slaves of Cobra, and if captured, Flint may be joining them. Just a note here, Flint voice actor Bill Ratner, who I've talked with on the show before, also voices the newscaster in the broadcast that Cobra uses to brainwash the citizens. So that is Flint's Vacation. Jared, dare I say,
Sir.
do I hear paper rustling over there?
What? Hang on. I've got it somewhere.
Sorry to be surprised by doing a show, not telling you.
I told you, very few notes are written on an envelope.
Hey.
There we go. Man, Kevin would have been mad if I didn't have that.
Yes, we have to have that paper rustling.
Whew.
Or mashing, whichever it is. Anyways, Jared, thoughts on this episode?
I only wrote down 4 things. I was kind of taken with this episode. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to see, Flint's Vacation, and he gets away and he goes to visit his cousin. Was it Ted or something like that?
I believe so, yeah.
And I almost made that my bit at the beginning of the show. Instead, I went with, you don't know if I came by train or by river, but I was almost like, thank you for having me on the show, Aaron. I'm so very excited to be here, as they were all like spaced out. But I only wrote down 4 things, and one of them is on everyone's list, so I'm just going to go ahead and steal it. Flint's commitment to his beret is incredible. Okay, he's going to wear that thing no matter what, where he goes. He loves his beret. Like, it's like they were afraid to take it off. Like they won't realize who it is. We're like, no, it's Flint's Vacation. We know.
Just to interrupt real quick, Jared. That's my 4th note down. Even getting up in the middle of the night, he has to have his beret on.
Now, my second one is only for the most eagle-eyed of viewers. So I'm not sure if you guys had this one, but I got a real kick out of when they showed the Cobra Moray coming in, which was a great vehicle, one of my favorites as a kid.
Right.
And then there's like side by side, driver's side, passenger side compartments. And then in one of the compartments, they're both the same size, is just a regular Cobra Trooper, and he's kind of looking out. In the other compartment is all 3 dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why you guys really like to bunch up there? All 3 of them crammed in
They're buddies.
They're very friendly.
They are.
My 4th item written here on my envelope from USAA is when the other Joes show up and they get to the underwater base, they give like the most hushed, like, yo, Joe. And it cracked me up. I was like, man, they're really They're doing a good job. And then my favorite one that made myself laugh is Cobra Commander tells everybody, stop these Joes by any means necessary, right? And Flint comes up and he starts like choking Tripwire, like killing Tripwire. And she's like, Flint, no, don't do it. And if it was me writing that episode, I'd have been like, no, I broke the mind control days ago. I just really hate Tripwire. And I thought that would have been very funny. But anyway, that's all I got. I left a lot for other people. Of the ones I've seen, we've seen a bunch on the show, Aaron.
Yep.
I just really like this one. Like I normally pick apart a lot of stuff, but this one just seemed to have, maybe it was a beautiful simplicity. You know, he goes on vacation, he meets his family, something's afoot there. He kind of solves it. The other Joes solve it. They come together. It had a cool underwater base. Once again, it gave us a cool toy that we would never own, and those submarines were pretty awesome. But a lot of neat stuff in this one. I liked it.
Very nice. You know, I was looking yesterday because I was curious. I think we've watched or looked at 40 some odd episodes so far.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken. So
sounds about right. Yeah, we've seen a bunch, and this is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was double checking real quick while we're talking. Yeah, this is episode 43. And then that's not counting the first two miniseries.
Yeah.
So that'd be 53 episodes of G.I. Joe we've watched and talked about on the show. So yes, we watched a lot of these.
We have, and this one was top tier to me. I really enjoyed it.
And like we've talked about, I mean, some of the shows are, I guess, lesser than others. Some of them, the last couple I've complained about, not complain about the show itself, but just, again, I'll mention again this episode, even though this isn't a problem. This episode, a lot of people said that Cobra Law was a step too far and made it too unrealistic. We've had dinosaurs, we had travel different dimensions, and Cobra Law.
Exactly. It's not exactly really gritty realism every episode, you know.
But anyways, I've just got a few notes. I started making notes and I got sidetracked. And I've watched the show a couple of times. Just again, it's one that I don't remember when I first saw it was coming up. But again, I watched a couple of times and I'm enthralled with it every time. So the newscast, as Jared kind of pointed out earlier, the newscaster's voice can really put someone to sleep, as monotone as they were, and the family and everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Question I have, and maybe Jared can help me out with this. I don't know if you have a code name in the military or not, but when he goes home, his family calls him by his code name.
I can actually help you with that. I did, being Air Force, especially, a lot of people get call signs, and I did have a call sign, and my call sign was J Bone. J Bone. Oh. And to this day, there are people that if I see them around, they're like, J Bone, what's up? And I do answer to it because it is. So there's a bit of truth to that.
But does your family?
No, my family would not.
They call you. That's my because again, my nickname's Brother Head, and friend. I got some people that only know me as Head. So
right. So like, what is his name? Is the Shield? Is his first name the Shield?
Yeah, something to that effect.
I think it's the Shield Fairborn. Is that right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it doesn't. You're right. I didn't even think of that. It makes no sense that they don't call him the Shield or Dash. They probably call him Dash.
It's Cousin Flint.
Yeah, what up,
Cousin Flint? I don't quite understand the whole.
I've got to be honest. I thought his name was Flint. I didn't realize that was his call sign. Yeah, okay, there you go. I've learned something today too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no.
Which makes sense because they all have code names, don't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Although Scarlet doesn't, does she?
Yeah, she has. Real quick. So, yeah, Flint's real name is Dashnell R. Fairborn.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah. Again, it threw me off. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
They call him by his code name,
Cousin Flint.
What the hell?
That didn't even occur to me.
It makes no sense at all, actually. Yeah.
No, I don't mind the cousin part because again, I got a cousin. I call cousin Larry. I got another guy, cousin Eddie.
But it's calling him Cousin Flint when Flint's his code name for the military.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Weird. Yeah, Scarlett's real name is Shauna M. O'Hara.
Right. Okay. Oh, so they've got the O'Hara. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
why Scarlett. I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So they all have code names, and apparently their family calls it by them the same. So I don't understand that, but that was one of my big questions about that is why calling them by. Okay. And when he went in to visit his cousin, he said he was moving on. He'll be moving on the next day. I thought he was coming there to visit the cousins.
Exactly. Yeah.
Running through.
Well, I think they were giving him such a cold shoulder that he was like,
maybe it was. After I read it, I know I go, well, maybe it's just because he didn't like their attitude because they didn't, you know.
But also maybe call ahead, Flint.
Yeah,
you know?
Right?
Lady Jason,
Right?
yeah.
Just lobbed in on their doorstep, expecting to have a massive vacation. Well, ask first.
Something else that kind of threw me. Zartan was disguised as a cop when he has dreadnoughts sitting around his office dressed up as cops themselves. Why disguise himself as a cop if you got, your 3 dreadnoughts sitting there being dreadnoughts without,
Yeah, but they were at least dressed up like cops.
Right. I wouldn't mind if Zartan was dressed up as a cop, but if he had full disguise on. My next note, only to rip the costume away when they start going for Flint.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Zartan. Why bother with the costume? You're just going to pull it off the first person that walks in. And I got a note here. This is the second time that I recall that the Dreadnoks have been cops.
Yeah.
Also cops in the World Without Ends 2-parter. There were cops there.
That's true.
I got sidetracked, so I did make a lot more notes. But when they had the car accident, when they were chasing after Flint and the 3 Dreadnoks ran to one another,
Yeah.
when Ripper got out of his car, came stumbling out. That animation looked a little odd to me. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, just the way they drew it looked very cartoony.
Yeah.
I don't know. That confused me a little bit. I was confused, but enjoyed it. I don't know. Dave, I'm assuming that your dog's got some comments on the cartoon.
I'm sorry. Yeah, like Cooper's really kicked up. I don't know why he's very excited about this.
He must be thinking,
yeah. Oh my god, he's so noisy. Hold on 1 second.
Special appearance by Junkyard.
No, he's outside probably. That's Dave. That's Dave's dog there.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, yeah, fantastic episode, and I really like the simple nature of the storyline, which basically is just a centerpiece on Flint.
Yes.
And the brainwashing, because I'd not seen this episode, and I watched it on the G.I. Joe YouTube channel.
Okay.
Which was a nice way to watch it. I watched it in the middle of the night one night, and just the simple nature with the brainwashing, him coming there, Lady J just almost marking a territory with Flint as usual, and like she really, I think, wanted to come on that holiday,
Oh,
that was the impression I was getting. But yeah, no, it was a great episode. Really a nice centerpiece on him. And he massively got brainwashed himself. And then I think beat the brainwashing, didn't he, at the very end?
Yes.
Didn't quite kill thing.
He tried to kill Tripwire, but that was personal.
He almost did as well. Yeah, it was close.
Again, as Jarrett said, it had nothing to do with the brainwashing.
No, he just genuinely dislikes Tripwire. Yeah, for me, different from a lot of the issues of the cartoon, because until they arrive, it's more of a centerpiece of one character. But one of the most enjoyable episodes of the cartoon, I'd put it in my top 10 that I've watched.
Oh,
and I've watched most of them, not all of them, but say 2/3 of them. Yeah, and I thought a very strong issue. And in fact, Flint, not a guy that I normally think of as one of my favorites, but he's right in the middle for me, if you know what I mean. Like, he's not,
right.
He's in the middle. But I thought it was nice to see him get an episode, and a little bit of backstory and all that sort of stuff. And then it's funny at the end when don't they offer him that he can stay longer, after it's all solved, and he's just like, no thanks, I'm out of here.
I need a vacation from my vacation.
Exactly, yeah. So no, just overall, a strong episode, basically, I think. And it was also good to see. Lady J definitely is not one of my favorites, but I thought she was good in this episode too, when given an opportunity.
Yes, very nice. Yep. Yeah, nothing wrong there. So that is the cartoon. Again, like we've talked about previously. I mean, even the bad episodes of the cartoon, oh my Lord, let's get rid of him. Oh, even the bad episodes of the cartoon, I mean, is still enjoyable, and it's what got a lot of us into G.I. Joe. So
hell yeah. No, it's a fun cartoon, man. And yeah. I always think, like, very watchable. You know what I mean? Very watchable. Yeah.
I've heard someone on maybe another podcast or read something that said Americans, more than any other nationality, when it comes to toys, love to be told how to play with the toys, and that's where the cartoon comes into play. Like in the comic book, like we're weird about that. Like a lot of other cultures will just be like, hey, here's a line of toys, you guys make up the story, but like we do the file cards and the stuff on the back, and it's become sort of ubiquitous these days. But like if you think about it, I think that thing, wherever I heard it, I think there was something to that. Like Americans like to be told, how do I play with this toy? Like in England and stuff, new toys were like, here's a new toy, figure it out, you know? Or, But this very much what I think we see here in these cartoons and comics, especially.
Well, you saw, the cartoon was basically just a way for them to sell the toy. You know, both the comic book and the cartoon was a way for them to sell the toys. And
that's true.
And you see it in the comic book every so often when new toys come out, we get a flood of new figure characters in the book or new vehicles.
Sometimes it's really blatant in the comic when they're like clearing the decks for the new wave.
Yes.
Like it's funny.
Or like the Transformers movie where they were like, okay, all these old Transformers are done now.
Just killing.
They're like G.I. Joe the movie.
Yeah. They're not just done. They're done. But yeah, no, very much so. So that was the cartoon. Any other thoughts we missed on that, you guys? Any other thoughts you want to mention on it, or are we good?
No, I'm good.
Jared, any other thoughts on the cartoon?
No, like I said, it was a good one. And I think looking at it in retrospect, I think I liked it so much due to, I think I mentioned earlier, sort of a beautiful simplicity. They don't, it doesn't get way, way, way over the top with zaniness. It was pretty, well, I mean, there was an undersea base. But it was still fun. And you know what? There's something I wanted to mention. What's his name? Bazooka. Clearly having a ton of fun.
Yes.
With coming out from behind the dartboard and making faces. Like, just it had a good balance. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think had a good balance of fun, yet simplicity. I like when they're more single character focused like this. It just had it just seemed to breeze by. It was a good episode.
Good. Yeah, and next month we're going to be looking at the episode entitled Hearts and Cannons, and this looks like it's a Dusty and Footloose piece. And I was looking at the Wikipedia while I was looking at these real quick, and I like the description of this one. Just beginning, Dusty and Footloose must help Dr. Nancy Winters, a beautiful scientist who is tricked into designing a plasma cannon for Destro. A beautiful scientist.
We've all been tricked into designing a plasma cannon for somebody.
Did that last weekend.
Sneaky Destro.
Sorry, anyways.
Sneaky Destro.
Oh, he got me to build another plasma cannon.
So yeah, it looks like next week we'll get to see some Dusty and Footloose. And again, as I've talked about, I like Dusty. He's a great character. Footloose, well, I think the drug testing would get rid of him. But anyway,
I'm not even sure. Oh, I do know Footloose from when we did the file cards, the Order of Battle.
Battle.
He was the one who dropped acid or something. And,
Footloose
lost himself.
He might be the only, like all these originals that I do. He might be the only original I still have. Right. I think Footloose and maybe I think I might still have Snow Job. Just can't move them, man.
Well, Snow Job's cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but yes.
Wow. Yeah.
But hey, I still have 2 big shows to go to, so that might solve itself.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Well, if you go to any of those shows, definitely stop by Jared's booth and check it out. And
say hi. Mention that you know me from the G.I. Joe show here on Aaron's network. Maybe I'll give you a discount.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. What are you going to give me if I mention it? You like nothing, but just mention it.
Charge you more.
I'll give you one of these head nods. I'll be like, mm-hmm.
That's nice. That's nice, kid. Keep moving. Get the line moving. There's the tip jar.
So, anyways, great episode, great issue, fantastic. Jared, any final thoughts on anything we've talked about today?
This has been fun. I just love being here. That's what I love
having you, man. I miss when you're not on the show. I enjoy hearing your military expertise. I enjoy seeing your artwork. It's just fantastic. So don't ever leave. Right. So I got you in my basement. I mean,
I need to convince my boy Pat to come back. It's just hard. It's just hard for Pat to make Sundays, just so everybody knows. And that's his biggest challenge.
I joke around, say there's restraining orders and all this. But yeah, it's just he's got a life, he's got a family, he cares more than us. And he's got his own podcasting empire he works on. So
He does, and he works hard. But yeah,
between his empire and his family, he doesn't have time for my little show. So,
but I'll shout out. I'll do one more shout out for Kevin and Brad. I miss you guys too.
Yep, very much so. I think that's why they're not here today, because you were. Never mind.
I put that puzzle together.
Jared, if people wants to hear more about you, they haven't had enough of your shenanigans, where can they hear you at?
They can hear me in a couple different places. The best one to find most everything is the Long Box Crusade. The Long Box Crusade. We have a ton of different shows available there. I'm on, 87% of them. So check those out, and then check out On Her Majesty's Secret Podcast if you happen to love James Bond as well, because that's what we do on that network. And as always, I have finished this guy right here, and he's probably going to go up for sale on my website for about $30, and that includes free shipping. But if you mention that you saw me draw it here on Aaron's live stream, it's $25 to you. So if that's something you're excited about, hit me up. I am at Yard Sale Artist, just like it says on the screen, and that's X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Thank you I appreciate that, Jared. Thank you. Beautiful artwork. Give my listeners a discount. I appreciate that. You're a great guy.
Hey, don't
people.
Don't blow the head up too big. Thank you.
No, I love seeing your artwork. It's fantastic.
You're just a great guy.
Dave, any other thoughts on
Speaking of great guys, let's go to Dave.
Yeah.
Dave,
any other thoughts? Well, I'm glad that I now have some light in the room as we close the show out, and I'm glad that I'm Soldier of the Month. I feel like a veteran of several campaigns. I finally got it. Now that I've got it, I might not attend again. This is it. I've reached.
Dave's last episode. Everyone say bye to Dave. Everyone. Oh.
Yeah, if he escapes wherever they're holding him.
Yeah, exactly. Out of the holding cell. No, just a pleasure to be here. Final thoughts on the cartoon were one of the strongest episodes I'd seen, and yeah, just a pleasure to be here. Is there any other questions you have of me, Aaron, or am I free to go?
If do you do your own podcasting? Possibly. Is there? If people want to hear more,
I do. Signal of Doom. We're on all the podcast catches at the moment. You'll see us on Apple Podcast, Stitcher. We're on Instagram now, Signal of Doom, and we're on X, where I just retweet things. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know if it's worth even being on it, because it's like I just retweet things. I'm just like, kids, if that's what you like, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, but I am enjoying Instagram. Instagram's a lot of fun. And also on Facebook, there's a Signal of Doom Facebook page and group. So like the page and join the group, and all the shenanigans go on there as well. So yeah, and Signal of Doom's a weekly podcast as well. So enjoy.
Very nice. And yeah, definitely check out both their shows. All their shows.
I should mention, we had last week, I know it's G.I. Joe adjacent, we had Bob Budiansky, the Transformers writer and artist. I had an interview with him that I put up last week. He was really good fun to chat to, actually. So we that interview went up last week, and I've got some more interviews coming up, including one with a psychologist who has written a whole psychology of Wolverine. And she's like a full-on clinical psychologist. She wrote this book, and she's coming on the show in the next couple of weeks. James DeMatteis is not far away as well. So we've got a number of guests who are going to be coming up inside the next month.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
Do me a favor. You see the at Yard Sale Artist, whatever your favorite platform is, hit me up, because I know that Delvin would love to talk to Bob on his Transformers show. So if maybe you can help us a bit, I would really appreciate it. If you can't, I understand, and I know we're doing.
He's very approachable on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Bob Budiansky you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My buddy Delvin
he
love
came
to have
back
him on.
to me. Lovely guy as well, I should mention. So I will. Are you on Instagram?
Yes, sir. At Yard Sale Artist.
I will do that now. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dave.
No worries, man.
See, Aaron's just putting it all together. He's helping everybody.
Yeah, everyone's making money except Aaron. He's the
I'm
only
telling
one.
the way of my life. Everyone else doing fantastic.
Making so much. There was this guy on Facebook recently. I made a comment. It was like a smart ass remark to some bullshit movie discussion, and he accused me of trying to make money off the comment. I went, yeah, this is the big comment. This is the one that's going to put me in the upper tax bracket. I'm really counting on this, pal. Like, like, since when are Facebook comments monetized? Like, you know, like, you know.
Oh, like some of these Marvel movies that are out, and people, you're a paid shill. I wish
You're
I was
paid shill. I wish I was. I'd love to be.
I'm actually enjoying the movie. If I got paid for it, double win-win for me.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed it a lot more if I got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, you can catch me here on the Headcast Network. I've got right now, it's just the 2 shows for the G.I. Joe show. I've got this one. And then every other week we have Bravo Team, where we look at something else G.I. Joe related. Right now, we're switching back and forth between the special missions and the order of battle. Though this month we're going to take a bit of break from that, and we're going to look at the yearbook number 3. This issue actually leads into, I was going to mention that earlier. This issue at the end, one part of it leads into next issue with Destro going home, and the Snake Eye storyline leads into the yearbook number 3. So that'll be on next
top
month's
tier cover of all time. That's a great cover.
Yes. So let me know when you're free, Jared, so I make sure I can schedule on a different day.
I fell into the trap again
because I'm a jerk. Anyways, but coming soon on the G.I. Joe Real American Headcast, as I talked about earlier, we will be doing a new role-playing game. It's going to be called the Energon Protocols. It's going to be the G.I. Joe mixed over with the Transformers. The part we're going to be airing is just the G.I. Joe portion, though in real time tomorrow night we're playing, and we're supposed to have a crossover with the Transformers team. So excited for that. Wow. The family wants to go watch that movie If, and I'm like, well, I've got my role playing at 4, and I've definitely got to be there for that one, because we're doing the crossover Transformers, and I'm definitely excited about that. So
yeah.
But I've got my other shows. My main show is Head Speaks, where I look at anything geek related. Currently, I'm working on the Power of the Atom, but I'm coming up to the end of that run. Got like 3 issues of that left, and I'll switch to something else. We've got the Task Force X, where I'm looking at the Suicide Squad book. Again, I'm down to the last dozen issues of that one. The Starman Adventure Hour, as I keep changing the name of that show. I'm currently looking at the Will Payton Starman book. Again, I'm down to the last year on those issues. The wife and I, we have the Starbright Project, where we started off looking at the original Quantum Leap series. Myself and another co-host, another friend from Australia, Hayden McQueenie, are longtime Quantum Leap fans and Michelle's first time. But then they came out with the new series, which we're calling season 6 and 7. We stopped and we took a look at that, and eventually we'll go back to the original shows. So it's
they just canceled the new show too.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, it lasted 2 seasons and they canceled it.
It's a shame too, because it had potential. You know?
Oh no, I was enjoying it. I liked it. A lot of people called it woke and complained about it.
They probably should have leaned heavier into the original, I think.
Well, one thing, when they changed it up for this new show, they did show more about the project and what was going on at the project, where the original didn't have that for the most part. So, and I think that while it was a continuation in quotes, because they were looking for Sam and they referenced Al and his wife, and one of his daughters was on the show all the time, it was a new show for the most part.
Did the original guy ever turn up, Scott Bakula, at all?
No. They, again, behind the scenes, apparently they asked him to be on an episode, but he refused. I don't know exactly why. I know he had his own show for a while, but then that kind of fell through. And if it's just money or if it's he didn't like where they were going with it. I haven't heard him say exactly why. Just he declined to appear on the show. So
he declined.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we never got a resolution.
Declined.
And we were left with Ben and Addison leaping through time. So now we got 3 time travelers out there stuck.
I quite liked the fiance character, the one who was really in the military.
Yeah, Addison.
Yeah, she was good, I thought.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, in the last episode, she starts leaping also. So,
wow. Everyone's leaping. Everyone's leaping.
Everyone's going to kung fu. I mean,
everyone's kung fu fighting.
And the last show, real quick, is my Voyagers cast. We've got 1 episode of that left. Probably coming out next month, where we look at the TV show Voyagers from 1982-83. We just finished the last episode, or the last episode of the series. We're going to look at, they put together a couple episodes as a TV movie called Voyagers of the Unknown. We're going to look at that and give some final thoughts on that, but that show's wrapping up. So
a lot of stuff wrapping up for you, man.
Yes. In the next year, I got a lot of shows ending. I got a lot of ideas though, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, if you drop Airwolf cast, you better give me a holler.
Keep you in mind.
Airwolf. Wow, there's a blast from the past. Airwolf. I tell you what, I thought last year I had this. I was going to do a Kojak podcast.
Who
I
loves
love
you,
Kojak.
baby?
I love Kojak.
Hell
but
yeah.
like, you know, I didn't do it, but I could do that at the drop of a hat. Like Kojak's such a great show, but I almost wonder what I would say because I just love it so much. I'd be like another great episode. Check it out. Like,
You need to have someone that doesn't like it as much to give you a opposing view. To
And if you just Dave going, you shut up, you empty-headed pseudo intellectual.
if they dare say anything negative about Telly Savalas or his brother, I'd go after them. You know, it's so
nice.
good. It's such a good show.
Yeah, once I get these shows wrapped up, I got a couple others. I'm looking at doing a Teen Titans. We got the Teen Titans.
At least you got a lot of content there with the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Looking at maybe doing a Hawk and Dove because I like the Hawk and Dove from the 80s. Like that.
Yeah, you like all that DC stuff, don't you?
Yes, yes. I like them both. I'm more DC.
Yeah,
as far as the comics.
That's
the movies,
cool.
like,
It's good. There's a lot of material there, so it's.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got lots of ideas. I want to do Animal Man. At least the first 2 years of the Animal Man book. That was a great series.
A fantastic series. Like,
lots of ideas, and not enough time. So
lots of ideas, man.
Jared nods in the background like, "Hey, man."
Oh yeah. I have to rein Pat in. Pat calls me like once a week. I got a great idea. Like, when are you going to do it?
Yes, yeah, I've got to do that to myself. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Oh, God, I'm running out of time. Barely getting time for my own shows I got right now, and I want to do it on a dozen more. Anyways,
inside scoop, we do have a new one coming out. I did make room for a new show. We're going to cover all 34, something like that, issues of the Further Adventures of Indiana Jones from Marvel.
Oh,
and
very
already
nice.
recorded the first 3 episodes, so that'll be coming out soon. And so if you enjoyed the Marvel Indiana Jones comic, which seemed to kind of, I feel like it somehow ties to G.I. Joe, like you're reading Indiana Jones, and because it's not in the universe. That's why, because it's 30 something issues is not in the Marvel universe. That's why they feel the same, and they're from the 80s.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick plug? I just remembered.
Please.
For next, basically, well, for those who don't know, we just had a kid, so there's a bit less Seedle than normal. But next week, we're going to be doing all the appearances of Vartox in Superman. Vartox, who don't know, is the Sean Connery clone that they brought into Superman in the Bronze Age, and it's super cool. And so there's about 10 appearances, and we're going to be doing that on the show. And looking super forward to it. Superman Bronze Age, and I came up with that brilliant idea last night, and
Very
then
nice.
I just remembered my own brilliant idea. So
just like, oh yeah,
I had to
I
share
cooked
it with
this up yesterday.
Yeah,
I always liked Art Talks when he showed up in the book, so that was fantastic.
he's awesome. Yeah, so check it out, kids. We'll be coming in hot on that one for sure.
Very nice. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else, stick around. If you're listening to the actual podcast, stick around. We're going to have a PSA today and our closing credits. Until next time, remember, knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that.
I had good.
You guys,
good on that one.
You guys did that perfectly.
That was good, Dave. We did good.
You guys did fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm going to go now and have some sleep.
All right, Hein, thank you for joining us. And anyone else out there that joined us in the looks like you guys are on X, and it looks like there was everywhere X on both the Headcast and the G.I. Joe show. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next month. End the stream.